Today's comics market is ripe with new titles by creators who are determined to get their books into your hands. My name is Onrie. For the last decade, I've been making and selling my own creator-owned comics and dealing as a collector in live sales. My signature series, Yi Sun Shin, is the book that cannot be defeated in battle and has over 250,000 copies in print. Now I'm taking comics to the next level and laying the groundwork for my fellow creators to get their voices heard so they can connect directly with you. This is your chance to engage live with top comic book talent and get your comics signed without having to wait in long lines or pay any fees. But remember, we only have a limited amount of their books in stock, so always remember to call it as you see it. You're watching Virtual Signings with Onrie, the live event show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Virtual Signings with Onrie. I am your host, Onrie Kompen, and I have the most amazing guest here. We got Kara Nicole in the house. Kara, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I need to step away for just a moment, but for those of us who don't know who you are, do you mind telling us who you are, what you do? I can hear you, and I am here. Just give me one moment.
Okay, so I am Kara Nicole. I'm also known as Arizona Power Girl or AZ Power Girl. You can find me all over the web and all over the place. I do conventions all over the country. At any time I can get out, that too. I am a comic book publisher as well as a cosplayer, a writer, and do some coloring. So I do have a line of comic books out. Fire Bitch is my main title, but we also have Unstable Frequencies currently in Kickstarter, and that is our horror anthology. Fire Bitch is our superhero comedy book, and I also have books out about cosplay, pinup books that are cosplay based, as well as a deck of cards available and calendars and all kinds of fun other stuff. Oh, thank you. Loves my setup. Yes, I got my pink wall back here, and I got my you see what I see. Do you see what I see? Yeah, all those things. I also do music and basically a little bit of everything. So we are currently in the middle of our Unstable Frequencies campaign, and that is over there on Kickstarter, where we have about 334 backers, I want to say. Super, 334 backers, super excited. Over 40 covers with some incredible artists. We always love to get better and different art. I love to showcase everyone's different art styles within the genres and really kind of give something to everybody. So for our signing today, though, we are here talking about Fire Bitch, which has been in the works for quite a few years. Alfred Trujillo and I created her together. And it is a story of a social media influencer who accidentally gets sucked into a vortex, landing on an alien planet, gaining superpowers. Now, what is a social media influencer doing on another planet? And what is she going to possibly do with alien superpowers? So, well, she's got to figure that out. This planet is under attack, and they're like, hey, we're going to need you to help us. And she's like, but I might break a nail. Oh, we wouldn't want to break her nail, right? You're never going to find a good acrylic lady over on another planet. So once you find a good one, you really got to stick with them. So now she's stuck on another planet. She's got superpowers, and this planet's under attack. So now she's not only fighting for her own life, but the lives of all of these people who she doesn't know and doesn't care about. Are they going to make her care about them? That's what you get to find out in Fire Bitch. It's over 30 pages. Issue 1 and 2 are out. Issue 2 is available on Indiegogo in demand, as well as both issues are available on our store. We've got some amazing covers. Yada, yada, yada. Onrie, you're back.
I'm sorry. I'll tell you right now, Kara, I apologize. You're one of my favorite people, and I hated to do this. I had to order dinner just now, and that's why I had to step away, because I just didn't have time to do it otherwise. And
I feel you. Hey,
if I come home at 8 o'clock, my wife is going to kill me. So it's one of those things. But one thing, first off, I just want to say you're one of my favorite people in this business. And sorry, you are my favorite person. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry, Kyle. You're a distant second now to Kara.
Damn
Kara, I've known you since I first started out in this business. I think the first time I remember meeting you was in the beginning of 2012 at Albuquerque Comic Con, and you were dressed as Jill Valentine from Resident Evil 3. And I'd seen you briefly before that as AZ Power Girl. But you came up and you were just so kind. I had a totally different getup then. And you helped me, just spruce up a little bit at one point when I was just slinging all day. And as I got to know you over the years, and I've seen just how much of a grinder you are in this field. You fight very hard to stay in not just in the spotlight, but to stay in the comic spotlight. And this industry means so much to you, but you are such a multifaceted talent. And one thing I gotta openly say, you gave me your Fire Bitch album when we were at Steel City Comic Con.
Yeah.
And I listened to every song and I absolutely love it. My favorite song is the Social Media Diva. I got it in my head all the time.
Alfred wrote that, and yeah, it's a hilarious song.
So how are you doing? You're in Kickstarter mode right now. Like, talk to us.
I'm okay. We've got actually a live sales show coming up because we want to get some of this stuff out of our studio. We've got so much stuff, you just run out of room. You know how it is, right? So yeah, we're in Kickstarter mode right now, which means that you're constantly trying to hustle and get things out there and let people know what you have. And that's kind of where we are. It's nuts. It's really, really nuts. Because people either want to jump in immediately when you launch and they're like, oh, you just launched, let's go. Or radio silence. Oh, it's going to end. Let's hurry up. Let's get in there. So, you've got a little bit of both going on. It's hurry up and wait, but then you're like, okay, so how many people don't know about us right now? So we got to get out the, the information, make sure that everybody sees it, because social media doesn't show everybody on your friends list or that likes your page, your stuff, especially if you get in trouble like I do. They flat out tell you, look, we're going to throttle you back for a little bit. You're going to be at the bottom of the feed. Like when you're in kindergarten or whatever and you mess up and they send you to the back of the line. That's what they did to me. Onrie. They put me in the back of the line.
Yeah, like that's going to stop you. Please. Tears. Those are crocodile tears. You're a warrior. I've seen it. And here's the thing. I call you up. I've called you up a couple times, just to see how you're doing. And I'm expecting a very laid back social call. And then I call you and you're like, we need to plan this. We need to do this. I mean, you are full on, let's move forward. And I loved your intensity because this is the time. And I love that you're striving for something. One thing I've been kind of dealing with lately, and I was talking with Kyle about this after my first Instagram show. So I did my first live sale on Instagram and it sucked. I barely sold anything. And it was my first time doing it. So, okay, I understand. And there's lots of things going on there. But, it's the thing. There came a point after that first hour where I was like, this is so bad that I might as well just end the show. But I decided to stick through it and get through that first 2 hours because that's how you build. It's that, staying till the end kind of a thing. And that's very much how I see you is you're always striving and you're always hungry. I see that you're somebody who wants to be very successful in this field. And the fact that you want this, I see you willing it. And it's so inspirational. So how the heck do you have so much drive? What is your driving force?
So I think that when you do this as a part-time job, when this is your secondary thing, it's easy to just have fun. Oh, it's just so much fun. Let's have fun. And it is fun, but it's also work. And when you're doing this part-time, you're really striving for it because you want it, right? And then now you got it. And now what's happened is it has taken so much time and effort to get it that you've lost control of your former life. You don't have time to go to a convention every weekend or even 2 or 3 weekends a month and work a full-time job and put out more product and write and do music and make videos and do all these things. So when you are doing it full time, it does take up all of your time because it is a lot of work. So when you have so now you need to, and I'll get people asking me from time to time, well, why don't you just put out one cover? And my first thought is do you think I'm fat? If you don't think I'm fat, why don't you want
love it. I love you, Kara. You're the best. that is oh, I love it.
You know, like because we're artists and creators, it's like we're supposed to live in these like hovels, you know? Like where are we supposed to live? Like we don't deserve to have things like, you know, food, electricity.
I agree 100%. You know, I was just having a conversation with another creator about this, and he does these shows, and he works his collective ass off. I mean, he's slinging all day, whether a show sucks or whether a show is great. He's out there slinging. And I asked him, I'm like, do you pay yourself? He's like, no, I don't pay myself. And I was like, you need to start paying yourself. Every creator who goes out to a convention and is out there hustling for however many days that show is, put something in your pocket, or at least get yourself somewhere to the point where that show is going to put some money in your pocket, something for you to take home for you, because otherwise it can't ever evolve into a full-time job. And the thing about you too, I remember we were having dinner in Steel City, and you had asked us a question like, during COVID, what did everybody do to survive? And there were a lot of people that said that they took on other jobs and tried to do other things, but you just kept going at it. So when COVID hit, did it change anything for you other than the fact that conventions weren't around? Like, were you able to compensate that?
We were okay because we had just finished launching Fire Bitch, the first one, and it did very, very well. So we were in Hawaii at a convention when that happened. And then I went from Hawaii to Chicago. And after that, everything was shut down. It was just gone. There was nothing left. So all we had was what we had in the bank, and we owed people things, and everything started to come to a very, very big slowdown. We started running out of paper. The printers weren't getting ink. It was just, things were sitting on the docks. It was really crazy. So, you know, we hustled. We did some more live sales. We went through a lot of our old stock. What do we have sitting back here? What do we have that we didn't know we had that people would be interested in? We hustled with more art. We opened up. I started putting out more photo sets, you know, and it goes back to, like I said, people want you to, you know, do less, but they don't understand, like, we still have to pay our bills. So they're like, oh, well, you made $40,000. No, I didn't make $40,000. Oh, but your goal was only $2,000. I spent more than $2,000 just to put this together. So I was listening to one of your shows, and the creator was saying, oh, it's free because we do our own. No. If you are doing your own whatever, it is not free, because that time that you're using to write that script, to draw that piece, to make that cover, to do all that, if you are not being paid, then you're working somewhere else. So you're going to go to Starbucks or the grocery store or Postmates or whatever, and you're going to work for 8 hours, and then you're going to come home and you're going to work again. Like, don't take pride in saying it's free because I'm doing it, because it's not. You should be paid. You would not go do it for someone else for free. And if you will, and you're good, and you're like just a millionaire and don't need to go work a day job, you come work for me for free, honey. So that's another thing. It's like, so I made this money, but it's going to artists. It's going to the advanced packaging who made custom boxes for me, because they don't make a box that fits 11 by 17 prints and books well. Gemini's, that's a small family company that created a box specifically for shipping comic books. And I think that's great. And those people, they need to send their kid to soccer or to karate, or, you know, they want to drive a car too. You know, like people just don't want to live all destitute. And so when you're supporting campaigns like ours, you are supporting artists all over the world. You're supporting the print shop where their kid goes to hockey. You're helping to support all of these other things, not just me. I'm not going to get to go out and buy a Lamborghini. You know, I'll be lucky if I could buy lunch.
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing, though. I feel like it's the worthwhile sacrifice. Like, do you really?
Yeah.
If you're not a car person, you really care if you have a Lamborghini? Like, I don't care. I don't need a Lamborghini. I had my dream car. I wanted a Honda Pilot. I got a Honda Pilot. I'm happy with that. It's got space in it. I can throw everything. I don't care about a Lamborghini. I care about getting a car that's going to allow me to store as many freaking comics in it as I can. And
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about. But Chris Dyskull, Onrie upping his guest game. Well, we've had Kara on before. She is a frequent guest of mine. She is the creator of Fire Bitch, a series that I actually stock. I have a couple copies of the A cover that are for sale now, going for $15. But you can also support Kara on her current Kickstarter. That's unstablefrequencies.com. That's
Yep.
the Kickstarter.
So it is on Kickstarter, but I did do unstablefrequencies.com so that when it rolls over to Indiegogo or into its own website or whatever, then the link is still good. So you know how you'll see an ad and it's like, oh, the Kickstarter ended. Well, that's okay because it'll just roll right over to Indiegogo and it's the same link. So
Peter Trevino is asking, do you ever just say, I broke even, this sucks? Like, did that happen to you?
What's breaking even?
Like, let's say we go to a show, it sucks, you break even.
Well, it depends. Did I meet some great artists? Did I have a good time? Did I meet some fans that I'd been meaning to see? So Steel City actually was not one that I went to make a profit. I went to go meet Mickey Dolenz, and that's what I did. I also got to see some fans. I got to meet some new people. We got to hang out. So I don't think I've ever said, oh, I broke even, this sucks. There have been a few times in my career where I've said, oh, I lost money, I'm not happy about this. But pretty much that doesn't happen. Like if it does happen, it's bad. It's bad. But I understand that whole I broke even. It's terrible because the thing is people a lot of times say, oh, I made my table, I made my money back, I had a good weekend. No, you did not have a good weekend because you would not go to your day job, work for 3 days, extra long shifts, pay to be there, and then walk away and say, it didn't cost me anything. You know, it's kind of like when people say, oh, I'll give you a free 3-day, 2-day night stay at our hotel. You know they're going to lock you away and try to sell you a timeshare.
Well, not only that, you know, I mean, this is true too. But I also think you speak words of truth. I don't think I've ever broken even at a con. I've always made a profit at a show because
you're a hustler.
Well, it's not because we're a hustler. It's because it's our full-time freaking job. So when we go out there to perform and we make it work just like we would if we had day jobs. So like, I don't think there's ever been a case where we didn't know what we were kind of like. You come into shows and sometimes things happen that you don't expect. Like I remember I went and did a show in New Orleans and there was just no one there. So I had all this inventory. No way I'm going to sell through all of this. But if that doesn't mean I'm not going to work. I'm going to sit there and work. If it's a dead show, then I'm going to frickin' work that dead show. And whoever walks by my booth is getting a frickin' bookmark and a pitch. And it'll end how it ends. You might make a little less money, might make more than you expected, but you'll definitely make more if you stay as opposed to leaving. Like, again, I went on Instagram today and it sucked. I had one person watching the entire 2 hours that I was there, but I didn't care because I was waiting for that one person to come on at that last moment to just come in and buy a bunch of stuff. Didn't happen this time, but it could happen next time. And I think that a lot, I think what you're saying here makes a lot of sense. When you make that, once you make that commitment, that jump to saying like, this is my full-time hustle and I'm going to make this work, you make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and it's very hard at that point to put a dollar sign over what your time is valued at. Like,
exactly.
I value my time at, I could say an hour of my time is worth $1,000. I could say it's worth $1 million. You could do the same thing, but it's really worth what the results are and what you're willing to put your time and energy into. And we want to be those people who say that an hour of our time is worth $1 million. That's what we're striving for and why we're pushing. So, Kara, what is your vision? What do you see? Like, if you are at the top of the mountain, the peak, looking over on all your accomplishments, what do you want the culmination to be?
Like, where do I want to see myself?
Yeah,
or
like,
what are you thinking?
Like, you want to get to the top of the mountain. Like, you want to get to the top. You're there. What do you like? What do you see? Where is that finish line for you with what you're trying to do right now?
There's never a finish line, you know that. But I would like to go towards animation and television shows. So with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and everything having their own shows now, I really do believe that Fire Bitch would make an incredible series. And the way we've written it is our story arcs are 3 issues. So our books are a little bit longer. They're 30-something pages, depending, but they're over 30 pages. And they are a bigger book. We put out 1 a year. But 3 issues would make a perfect, 9 to 12 episode series. It's funny. It's superheroes. It's modern. And so there's that. I think Unstable Frequencies, it's very Tales from the Crypt. And every story would make a fantastic episode for a series.
I agree 100%. I absolutely love the humor in Fire Bitch, and I love the correlation between Unstable Frequencies and Tales from the Crypt. So you work very closely with your husband, Alfred, yes, who's also one of my favorite people in this business. One of the most laid back people I've ever met. And, you know, I always find it fascinating, the relationship you guys have, because you're not only married, you guys also work together. So what's that relationship like? You know, and I know I've asked you this before and you've given me the answer. I want our audience to be able to hear about this too, because it's an interesting dynamic and not an easy one by any means.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, we've been doing it so long. It's like, I don't even think about it anymore. You know, it's just our life. It's just the way it is. I mean, you're constantly in each other's face. You know what I mean? We work from home. We travel together. Sometimes we don't. He'll do a show or I'll do a show. The other person won't necessarily go. This is like my secondary studio, but we share a main studio out there. So it's very nice when you don't have to necessarily get up at the butt crack of dawn all the time. You know, it's really nice to not wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, freeze, because I know some of you are in very cold places, and even here it gets cold. You know, get ready, have to get up, shuffle out in the cold, try not to spill your coffee all over the place, come home, you know, and then you've got to like see your person. You're excited to see him, and you're like, oh, she took my stapler, you know, and well, when are you going to be home? Like, we really don't have to deal with that. We're just kind of around each other, and that makes things a little easier, but we also are in each other's face all day long. So it can get a little bit, well, did you do this? Well, did you do that? Well, are you going to have that? Well, what about you? And I don't know what happened here. So, you know, it just really, we're very good with each other. Does that make sense? Like, we're both people that are very comfortable in that environment. Some people would go nuts and be like, oh, I can't possibly be around my husband that long. But for me, it's like, it's been 5 minutes. Where'd you go? Does that answer your question? It's a little weird.
It does. Well, I mean, I've seen the dynamic because, you know, you and I were hanging out in Steel City, and, you know, after we hit the bar, you got on a call with Alfred, and you guys were talking business, and it was like 1 a.m. in the morning, and you guys are talking business because that's how you guys work together.
It is, and a lot of people, it is hard to separate your business from your relationship. In a normal relationship, you get in a fight over who didn't take out the trash or take the dog for a walk, and we're over here like, well, you didn't take the dog for a walk. Yeah, well, where's that script?
Yeah.
So we really have to rely on each other. He got sick for a while when he got COVID, and I had to kind of take care of everything because he was like literally locked away. I just locked him in, just, you ain't coming out till you're clean. He picks up the slack. We both kind of check each other's work, but you want to be conscientious not to upset anyone. I don't want to be like, oh, this looks friggin' terrible. Oh my God, are those Yoshi eyes or are they boobs? What's going on here? No, we're not going to do that. So, at times you can get a little snippy with each other, but we try to be very considerate.
That's excellent. All right, Kara, let us know where we can support you and do everything that we want to do to give you love and support.
Well, first, what you want to do is you want to hit up Onrie and be like, hey, Onrie, get me that issue of Fire Bitch.
I got you. But you also got a claim sale going on in a half hour. Chris Deiskell is one of my regulars. He's very interested in you. He's calling you the goddess on my show. So
he's going to have me on his show?
Yes, he's going to have you on his show. But he actually might come on your claim sale. So you got a claim sale happening in 30 minutes, you said?
I have it. No, actually in an hour and a half. So an hour and a half. Over on my Facebook, where you can find me as AZ Power Girl. It might be going to YouTube. We also do some music, and we have a lot of fun. If you can't make the sale, you can just go to my website, 183degreestudio.com, or roll in from azpowergirl.com. And I've got a section called live sale on my store. Anything in that live sale that you see that is not sold out is in my possession in stock right now. Anything you order outside of there, not necessarily. I might have it. It might need to be printed. So you take a chance with other things. I always throw in some free swag. Always have some cool free goodies and stuff to throw in the box. So definitely jump on in and take some of this stuff out of my house.
Well, then our next guest is actually someone that is he here yet, Kyle? Or is he hiding? There he is.
Look at this.
JT!
What's going on?
This guy harassed me at C2E2 and said, hey, I need space to sell. And I was like, all right, fine.
I did. And he was like, get away from me, you vagrant. And then I proved my worth somehow.
He did. He proved his worth by bringing in ground beef that was uncooked and putting it on my table. And I was like, well, you have made your sacrifice. So we got JT Malloy. Carrie, you're welcome to hang out with us, or if you got to go and get ready,
I'm going to go and get ready, but I do want to let everyone know that JT is amazing, and he's actually doing the interiors for
Unstable
Frequencies books called Regarding Ruth. And I was like, I gotta get JT on this. Like,
it's the most messed up script I've ever drawn off of, and it's pretty awesome.
Really?
I'm really glad that you gave me the most messed up script I've ever had to draw off of.
Well, good. I'm glad, and I'm super excited, and I'm loving what you're doing. So
Sweet.
So everybody buy all JT's stuff and hit him up and be like, hey, let me get that Kara Nicole cosplay cover and that Alpha Trio art cover. So yeah, you hit him up and yeah.
What's gonna happen? Well, JT, you're kind of hard to see. Like you're all fuzzy.
Oh, I am?
Yeah.
Sorry. Can you at least hear me?
I can hear you perfect.
Okay. Yeah, I've got some uploads going on for work, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. So.
Oh, okay. All right. No worries. But anyway, Kara, thank you for joining us. We will have you on again soon. Good luck with Unstable Frequencies. You're the bomb. I love you. You're the best. See you later.
Bye.
I love you too, Kara. She didn't hear it.
With you, and you're not as attractive as Kara is, especially when you're all fuzzy like this. Kind of disappointed.
Are you talking about my beard or the fact that the video's fuzzy?
I'm just upset with the fact that you didn't like this Spider-Man movie as much as everyone else did. I'm calling you out on it right now, and that's it.
6 out of 10. I stand by it.
I'm with you. I'm with you on the 6 out of 10. I'm with you on it.
I don't know. I'm too close to the comics, man. I've been reading since the mid 90s, and I'm just like, comic Spider-Man is my Spider-Man, and everybody's always like, who's the best Spider-Man? I'm like, comic Spider-Man, 616 Spider-Man.
That's it. But we're not here to talk about Spider-Man. Nobody who watches the XP cares about Spider-Man. Not a single freaking person who watches the XP is a Spider-Man fan. They're all wannabe JT Malloy fans.
Ooh.
So, Mr. Malloy, tell us who you are and what you do. I'm going to go dig your book up real quick. I know exactly where it is. Tell us all who you are and what you do.
Who's your daddy and what does he do? My name is JT Malloy, and I write.
Oh, we already know that.
Write and draw a little comic called The Sapphire Spectre, of which there are 2 issues out right now. The third one is going to be kickstarted in late February, and oh man, it's so fun to do. I write, draw, color the whole thing. One man army, guns can't harm me. Young and Onrie, worse than my Uncle Ronnie. I know. I always jump into Eminem lyrics when I say one man army. Yeah, no, it's about a girl from Chicago who can like die, enter the spirit world as her own ghost, fight demons and evil spirits and stuff, and come back to her body, and she's all alive again. In a bit of some people say, oh, like Danny Phantom. I'm like, oh, not quite like that. A little more astral projecty, like Doctor Strange or something. But yeah, it's cool. I was very influenced by Fathom and Witchblade and some of the badass heroines of the late 90s and early 2000s growing up. So yeah, that's what I draw a lot of inspiration from. Drew a lot of inspiration from that, and Ghostbusters and punk rock and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, so here's what I got. I got the Sapphire Spectre, these prints featuring our girl Kara.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got this art right here. Who did this?
Alfred Trujillo.
Oh, Alfred did that. And
yeah.
then this is your art here.
Yep, that's a 1-page story. I like to do 1-page stories. They're fun. I might collect them all into a single issue eventually, but like every campaign, I like to do like a 1-page story as a print. I don't know. It's always fun to challenge myself to do a story in as little time as possible, and yeah, or with tell it economically, I guess.
So right now I have the first 2 issues of your series plus all the swag, and that's like the only thing I have to sell right now. So if I were to sell all of that together as a set, what would I do? All of this swag with the keychain and the bandana and the hocus pocus stuff that you have here, which is just a beautiful package, plus your first 2 issues. What is the going rate on that, sir?
All that together, probably like 40
bucks.
There were some that bandana that cost quite a bit to make.
Really?
But I was like, I can't not do this. It's just so cool, you know.
Let's take a look at this bandana. Do you have one in front of you?
Somewhere, yeah.
Okay, somewhere is not.
Yeah, here we go.
There we go. This is a badass bandana.
Yeah, this thing is fun.
Look
It's got
at
both logos on there, the written logo and the skull splatter that she has on her hoodie when she is a ghost.
That is really dope. So, what was the main inspiration for this character? Did you mention that in your pitch?
Yeah, very briefly. I grew up a Ghostbusters fan, like hardcore Ghostbusters fan in the 80s as a real little kid. And
did you like the Aftermath movie more than
it.
Spider-Man? Okay, so you liked it.
Oh God, yeah. Oh yeah. It was so great.
Okay.
Okay. And I played the video games. I love even the IDW series by Dan Schoening and Eric Burnham is awesome. And so I don't know, I've always been like and then that got me into like the supernatural when I was a kid. I was very superstitious growing up. I don't know if I am anymore, but like it was I don't know.
Hey, you tabled with me. You should be very superstitious. JT Malloy is cowardly and superstitious lot.
Sleep with the lights on kind of kids or whatever for a while. So ghosts always intrigued me. So I wanted to make like a a heroine, like in the vein of Sarah Pazzini from Witchblade or Aspen Matthews from Fathom. And I just started sketching it out, and I'm like, all right, so I made this girl blue, and she's got a hoodie on and some hangy like scenester hair, and I'm like, okay, so why is she a ghost? And I'm like, she can turn into a ghost like whenever she wants, like become her own ghost in the spirit world. And I'm like, cool. So then it was just snowballing from there. Then I just thought of all the rules of the universe, because you got to like establish like you can't just have people flying for no reason or whatever. So yeah, it all snowballed from there and turned into something really fun. So, and it's a story I'm very much looking forward to like finishing and having like a very finite start and end point,
So how many issues do you see have coming together for this entire series?
I started graphic novels. The plan was always to make a graphic novel trilogy, of which 2.5 are done, and like one of them's on Comixology from like 10 years ago or something. But like I kicked it off as a series also that takes place after those. So the series is going to be like 15 issues, and then the equivalent of 15 issues is what came before it, which I'm going to release as like a hardcover, and it'll just be like the 2 volumes next to each other when it's all done. So it'll be like the equivalent of 30 issues, and you can just shred through the canon front to back when it's done.
Chuck is calling me out. He's seen too much of me today. I know. I have been on the air now for about 4 hours today. The other 4 hours, I was just like, not doing anything. I was just playing around, horsing around. Do you horse around much, JT?
I've been known to dabble.
In horsing?
Yes. I saw some meme recently that was like, I know you came here expecting art, but this is a place of chaos, and I'm a person, and I'm like, yeah, no, that's pretty much me. Because I'll say my snooty Spider-Man opinions or something and get in a fight with people, but then I'll be the nicest guy 2 seconds later. So.
Well, I don't blame you for how you feel about Spider-Man, and I never hold people's opinions against them unless they're truly wrong. But in your case with Spider-Man, which we're not going to talk about at all, I would say you're right. So do you answer that through your own work? And
well, like that kind of thing? No. Oh, you mean like kind of put like geekisms into my stuff, or
not necessarily, but just say like, okay, I'm not gonna Sapphire Spectre is never gonna be Spider-Man, but I'm gonna show people how to do a good story in comics and how these characters are betrayed.
Right, totally. Yeah, because like when it comes to how you portray characters and stuff, like I'm always of the opinion there should really only be like a rectilinear course for that. It should only be, I don't know, like when people say continuity and canon, they often mix the two up. You know what I mean? It's like continuity is whether or not Batgirl got shot and where. Canon is that she got shot. You know what I mean? By the Joker, like that kind of thing. So it's like those beats, those story beats, and who the characters are should always stay relatively the same. That's why I always champion Bill Watterson's Calvin and Hobbes, because there was never an adaptation. There was never people's aren't like, who plays your favorite Calvin? There's only one Calvin. He's on the page. You know what I mean? Like that's it. So it's like I never want to like make multiple universes, or I never want to, how like the Green Lantern Corps, it's like there's 50,000 of them, and that's cool if you're a Green Lantern fan, you know what I mean? But like sometimes other books do that too. Like there won't be a, not knocking on Spawn, I love Spawn, but like there won't be a medieval Sapphire Spectre. There won't be anything that takes away from like Comet the Super Horse and stuff, you know what I mean? Like stuff that takes away from the core character. So that's kind of what I always set out to do with her, was just have her be the only one. You know what I mean? Like keep something special about the character, because when there's 5,000 versions or something running around, it's funny in something like Rick and Morty, where the point is the irreverence of it all, where like they have a citadel of Ricks, like there's a cowboy Rick and all that stuff. It's supposed to be goofy, but when you do that to characters, it kind of waters down the brand, in my opinion. So I don't know.
I agree with that. Now, Chuck is asking you a question. He's saying you're an indie creator who does it all. If you had to bring in an entire team to take over your book, who would you fill the different roles for?
Oh man.
And you're not allowed to say that I'm your sales guy.
I mean, other than like my friends in the indie scene, because that would be great. That's something I really want to do.
Well, let's say you could hire anybody you want. Let's say you could get Todd McFarlane on your book. Like, let's take this as far as we can go.
I am a J. Scott Campbell nut job. Like, yeah,
we can't see anything because you're uploading stuff.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry. There's a bunch of his prints on the wall signed and a bunch of comics in the background and stuff. I have been a J. Scott Campbell nut since like 1995 when I first picked up a Star Wars Galaxy magazine that had his art of the Empire Strikes Back on it. I'm like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then I opened it and they talked about Gen 13 and I was like, what's that? So I went to Comic Store and picked that up, and then he got bigger, started working on Spider-Man, all that stuff, and I just remained a fan all these years. So he's kind of a big inspiration. I draw the character smiling a lot, and he made a point of drawing his character smiling back at a time when every character was like grimacing and angry, So he's definitely somebody that I would like put on it if it was like Dream Team, like, you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I don't know about writer though. I'm not sure.
Well, you definitely can't pick me or Chuck Pino. It has to be someone at the top. Mm-hmm. I know Chuck wants to just hear his name again. He could definitely be a shoo-in for the editor role, but he's too good to be the writer on it. Sorry, I'm giving a hard time. No, but seriously though, if you did have a chance, like let's say, Tom King comes to you with an idea for your book and you like it. I mean, who would you like to see, take your character and run with it? It's a great question.
Yeah, Tom King gets some crap from people, but I don't know. I half enjoyed his Batman run and half didn't like the other half. I don't know. He was okay, but I guess it would have to be somebody, because he's very into the whole decompress thing, and I'm not. So it would have to be somebody who could tell a story and wants to move it along. You know what I mean? Like when you watch Doctor Who, there's never an episode where they sit around and catch their breath. You know what I mean? Like something's got to be moving. You know what I mean? Like that whole like Ultimate Spider-Man thing of like he wakes up in the morning and brushes his teeth. To be continued. You know what I mean? It's like give me something. Give me, and if it's going to be part of a story, if it's going to be part 1 of 2 or 3 or 4, at least have each of those parts feel like a complete something. You know what I mean?
I agree. And I think that's what pulled me out of buying comics on a weekly basis is the fact that I honestly just don't know what to expect sometimes anymore. I don't want to pick up that newest issue of Spider-Man, pay $5 to read the thing, and all that happens in that issue is that Peter Parker brushes his teeth.
Yeah, right. And a lot of times it's like copy and paste it, especially in the OOs. They would like copy and paste panels in Photoshop. Like the artist would draw one panel because the writer told them, okay, there's going to be 3 panels of pauses when they're talking at this table. It's always a table. And like, then on the last one, somebody goes, really? You know what I mean? It's like pause, and somebody goes, really? And it's you're supposed to indicate like that this is like a punchline or something and a passage of time. But it's not a storyboard for a movie. It's a comic book. So really, you should be giving the audience like one reaction panel, if that, and it should be very small. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So yeah, it's got to be somebody who understands the economy of storytelling, because that's kind of what I care about and always have.
The economy of storytelling. I can appreciate that, and you are doing so much on your own that it's got to be overwhelming. Plus, you're working a day job. In fact, the reason why you're all fuzzy right now is because of your day job. Tell us, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm uploading video right now. I'm uploading like a 3 gigabyte file to 2 spaces at once. I work for a company called Broadcast Management Group, and I work under a major stockbroker. Their news network. I don't know if I want to say what it is, just because I'm talking about this. I don't want to mix my peanut butter and toothpaste, but whatchamacallit? Yeah, no, I've been a video editor for professionally for 17. Oh my God, it's been 17 years. Where am I? What is this?
Did you just turn 40 recently?
I did just like
so wait,
2 weeks ago.
you're actually older than me. I thought you were younger than me. I thought you were like 10 years younger than me.
Oh really?
Yeah, it turns out you're 6 months older.
It's because I have red hair and wear punk rock hoodies.
Okay, so it makes you look younger.
Yeah.
So
I got carded for cigarettes until I was like 35. So
wait, you stopped getting carded because you look like a 16-year-old. I just want to let you know that.
Well, thank you.
I was gonna be like at the show. I was like, "This is my son." People on at C2E2 that you were my son.
How old are you?
39 and a half.
Gotcha. All right.
So you're old enough to be my father who had me when he was 6 months old.
Oh God, that's a comic book story.
Hey man, it is, and you know it's possible. It's just how it goes. All right. Well, anyway, we got Sapphire Spectre. You got the first 2 issues, and we're gonna let everybody who wants to call it as they see it. You guys want to buy Sapphire Spectre? We got issues 1 and 2. You got them handy because I couldn't find the actual issues.
I do.
I have them in stock, guys. I just don't know where they are off the top of my head.
I actually brought up a couple of like little bundles. Like I didn't know if this was gonna be a claimy selly kind of thing. So
It is. But
Okay,
we can't
cool.
see you. We can't see the cover, unfortunately.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate.
Yes. But anyway, what do you got the first 2 issues of your series going for?
Well,
I'm gonna see if I can dig up a copy. Just keep going though.
Okay. Yeah, I had picked out like a couple of covers of 1 and 2 because I'm just going to sell them at the same time. And I included in each of these little bundles one of the bandanas and one of Kara Nicole's foil prints. And I was just going to do 25 for each of these little packages. And the first little package I have here, I wonder if anybody can see, is Travis Starling's cover for issue 1 and Ashley Witter's cover for issue 2. This is really fun. Ashley did like a anime inspired thing for issue 2, and Travis just knocks it out of the park. I worked with the both of them, met them through Ashley for Cold War when I worked for them for a while, and yeah, it's really cool. And then my second little pack I had here was both cosplayers for issue 1 and 2. One which was Kara Nicole.
I got it. I got him.
Sweet.
And then I have the Steph Wilson cover for issue 2.
Sweet. Yeah, I got the Kara Nicole for 1, and for issue 2, I've got Harley Quinn SLC. Her name's Trina. She's got a lot of followers on Instagram. She's a awesome chick. I've known her for a couple of years now. And then I have like my little Spider-Man homage corner here where I've got an issue 300 homage, which I was kind of against because everybody does that, but somebody talked me into it, and it was really fun. It was actually really fun. And then a Spider-Man 601 homage with more punk rock references than you can shake a stick at.
Swing. Nice goes like swing, 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 swing,
swing, swing, swing, swing, swing.
He's got the. So we got the Kara Nicole cover. How much is the Kara Nicole cover?
I was just doing issues 1 and 2 together with a bandana and a print for 25 each.
Okay, 25 each. So each one is 25.
Yep, it's a foil print of Kara with each of these little packages and a bandana. So, yeah.
Call it as you see it, guys. We got 8 minutes to go or 6 minutes to go, and you guys can get Sapphire Spectre. Now, I want to give you guys a chance to see the inside because JT, you actually. I hate to say this, but it's much easier to see you when you're smaller on the screen.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
When I see you smaller, you're just like sitting there and you're like, swing, 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 swing.
So I guess A. All right, we'll call this A. This is Ashley Witter and Travis Starling. And then this is B, which is the cosplays, Trina and Kara. And then this
I'm
is
just showing you guys the interior.
Spider-Man one. 601 and 300.
And you guys can call these. JT is in Chicago. He's based here, so I can get stuff from him. It's not a big deal, and I will take care of all the invoicing. You guys just let us know if you're interested. If you want this Steph Wilson variant of issue 2, it's going for $25, and I'll throw in the swag stuff for you.
Okay, I'll talk about issue 2 real quick. That was a fun double-page spread I did of the city of Chicago. It's like a map I made in Photoshop, and like all the panels where she's being stalked by this tiny anime chibi ghost. Like that's the story in the second one. It's a little wacky. It's a little Batmite inspired, or Mr. Mxyzptlk or something. And it's like a tiny ghost that looks like a cartoon and dresses up like her and stalks her. And it starts out a little wacky. You're like, why is there a 2-foot tall cartoon in this horror comic that JT does? And by the end of it, you're going to be like, oh, okay. You know, and there's a bit of a reveal and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun.
How about Sapphire Spectre meets Warline? Well, very possible. At first, I think we need to see how Warline is actually going to do out in the wild. And, you know, JT is much further along with Sapphire Spectre. But I will say this, JT, you have a very refined style.
Thank you.
And it does kind of remind me of J. Scott Campbell a bit, but it's still very much your style. And you have such a hands-on approach to making comics. So have you thought about, doing other books? Would you, let's say you get a phone call today from Marvel Comics and they're saying, hey, JT, we want you to come on and work for us. First off, would you do it? And if you did, what would be your conditions?
Yeah, I'd probably do it. If there was anything I was going to do for Marvel, it would be to do a Black Cat book that was actually like fun and interesting and did fun stuff, you know, because I cracked open the interiors of those ones with the Campbell covers, and it was just okay. I don't know. I was kind of like, this should be energetic and sexy and fun. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's a character I would love to tackle is Black Cat. Yeah. And if it was for DC, any of the Bat family, any of them, not Batman.
And not
I love all his sidekicks. Batman's sidekicks are my favorite comic book characters.
I hate Batman's sidekicks. I hate every last one of them. The fact that we're getting a PS5 game with those fools, forget about it.
I can't wait for that. Oh my god,
that's gonna suck.
Nightwing, Tim Drake, Barbara.
Bro, no one wants to be Nightwing. They want to be Batman. Nightwing. Look at me. I used to wear tights, and now I got 2 sticks. I got devil sticks.
It was a little.
Making devil sticks cool again.
At least he doesn't dress like that disco outfit or whatever that he had.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, the one.
That was really
a lot of people really like Nightwing, and I feel very sorry for them, but they are allowed to have their opinions.
I'm a huge Nightwing fan.
And Nightwing's a big seller. It wasn't at first when I first started. Like now, like everybody's like, Robert Pattinson would have made a great Nightwing. I don't think he makes a good Bat. He's
yeah, right. I don't know though. Like, what's funny is like, how old is that guy? You know what I mean? Like, he's probably slightly younger than us, right? So like, it gets weird when you start to grow up, because I'm 40 now, so it's like I'm older than Batman. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of creepy to think about, is because when you're a kid, like probably like Robert Pattinson looks like, oh, he's too young and pretty to be Batman. But probably right now, an 8-year-old is going to see that movie and they're going to be like, yeah, that's Batman. Because he's an adult to them. That's what it looks like to his eyes. You know what I mean? So
no, absolutely.
It's an uncomfortable fact of aging and stuff. Like, I am so much older than Spider-Man now. And he says, like, I don't know, he's been like frozen at like 27 or whatever since the 80s. So
yeah, no, it's crazy. I mean, life just seems to be, speeding by as we're doing everything that we're doing, like working in comics, and the time does fly by much faster, I find it. But you also have this other day job, so when do you actually have time to work on this? Sometimes
during and sometimes after, or mostly after, but sometimes during. Like, it's kind of hurry up and wait. My job, it's like people talk to people on this news network, and I make VOD out of it, video on demand, and download it, edit it, throw it on the site, and then I gotta kind of wait until the next interview comes along, like that kind of stuff, because it's live TV I'm dealing with. So my workload is spread out, which is really cool because that's how I like it. So I have little bits of downtime, and I've been working from home ever since the pandemic's been going on. So I feel very lucky, actually, to be doing like two things I like at once. Because
that's all really fantastic, but we need to wrap up now because the time is here. How about an indie team up, Eastern Shin and Sapphire Spectre? Forget about it. That's not happening. JT, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm not sorry at the same time. Do us all a favor. Tell us where we can find you. I'm really sorry for that. We'll have you back.
That's all good. On the Facebooks, JT Malloy. On the Instagrams, James T. Malloy. And I have a store, Envy. So, yeah.
Excellent. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Up next, we got Nick's art show coming up, original artwork. JT, thanks for coming by to hang out with us.
For sure. I'll see you tomorrow.
Stick around for that, and be sure to hang out for the rest of the EXP Expo and tune into everything that's going on. Peace out, y'all. Love y'all. See you guys later.